Have you ever sent a simple message and then spent the next 2 hours thinking about it? You text someone, "Hey, are you free tomorrow?" They read the message, but they don't reply. 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes. Suddenly your brain starts asking questions. Did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? Did I sound annoying? Maybe they're ignoring me. Maybe they don't like me anymore. And before you know it, a simple unanswered message has turned into a full movie inside your head. Or maybe it happens at night. You lie down in bed, ready to sleep, but your brain suddenly decides it's the perfect time to replay every awkward moment of your life. That embarrassing thing you said 3 years ago, that mistake you made at work, that conversation you wish you handled differently. Your brain keeps replaying it again and again and again. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of people struggle with the same thing every day: overthinking. But here's the interesting part. Your brain isn't doing this because it's broken. It's doing this because it's trying to protect you. And once you understand why your brain overthinks everything, the whole experience starts to make a lot more sense. Most people think overthinking is simply a bad habit. They tell themselves things like, "I just need to stop thinking so much," or "I need to relax." But the problem is, your brain doesn't work like a switch that you can just turn off. In fact, your brain is designed to do the exact opposite. Your brain is a prediction machine. Its main job is to constantly scan the world, look for possible threats, and imagine what could happen next. Thousands of years ago, this ability helped humans survive. Imagine living in the wild thousands of years ago. If you heard a strange sound in the bushes, your brain had two choices. Option 1, ignore it. Option 2, imagine every possible danger that might be hiding there: a predator, a snake, an enemy. The people who overthought the situation and prepared for danger were the ones most likely to survive. In other words, overthinking was once a survival advantage. But here's the problem. Your brain still uses the same ancient system today. The difference is that modern life rarely involves life or death threats. Instead of worrying about predators in the forest, your brain now worries about things like what people think about you, whether you made the right decision, whether you might fail in the future. So the same system that once protected humans from danger now creates endless mental loops about everyday situations. To understand overthinking, imagine your brain like a security guard. But not just any security guard, a security guard who is extremely paranoid. This guard's job is to constantly look for problems, even if there are none. If everything is going well in your life, the guard doesn't relax. Instead, it starts asking questions. What if something goes wrong? What if people judge you? What if you fail? What if you regret this decision later? Your brain keeps running these mental simulations because it believes it's helping you prepare for the future. But here's where things become tricky. Your brain cannot easily tell the difference between real danger and imagined danger. So when you think about a stressful situation, your brain reacts almost as if that situation is happening right now. That's why overthinking can feel so exhausting. Your mind is constantly running through possible scenarios. What if I say the wrong thing? What if people laugh at me? What if I make the wrong choice? And the more you think about these possibilities, the more real they start to feel. Think about the last time you had to make an important decision. Maybe it was choosing a career path, or deciding whether to take a new opportunity, or even something small like sending an important message. Your brain probably started listing every possible outcome. What if this works? But also, what if it fails? What if you regret it later? What if there was a better choice you didn't see? Your brain keeps analyzing every possibility because it believes the perfect answer must exist somewhere. But life rarely works that way. Most decisions don't have perfect answers, yet your brain keeps searching for one. And this is where overthinking becomes a loop. You analyze, then you doubt, then you analyze again. And the more you think, the more uncertain everything starts to feel. Psychologists sometimes call this analysis paralysis, when thinking becomes so intense that it stops you from taking action. It's like standing at a crossroads and trying to calculate every possible future before taking a single step. But the truth is, no one can predict the future that accurately. Here's the deeper psychological truth about overthinking. Your brain prefers certainty. Humans naturally feel uncomfortable when things are uncertain. Uncertainty makes the brain feel unsafe. So when your brain encounters something unknown, it tries to fill the gaps with thoughts. It starts creating stories about what might happen, stories about what people might think, stories about what could go wrong. And the more uncertain a situation feels, the more stories your brain creates. This is why overthinking often appears during moments like waiting for someone's response, making a big decision, entering a new relationship, starting something unfamiliar. In all of these situations, the future is unclear, so your brain starts trying to solve the uncertainty. But instead of solving it, it often multiplies it. Each new thought creates another possibility. Each possibility creates another question, and soon your mind feels trapped in an endless loop of thinking. Ironically, the brain is trying to protect you from uncertainty, but it ends up creating more anxiety instead. There's another interesting reason your brain overthinks. Your mind has a natural negativity bias. This means your brain pays more attention to negative possibilities than positive ones. From an evolutionary perspective, this made sense. Missing a positive opportunity might cost you something small, but missing a threat could cost you your life. So the brain evolved to focus heavily on potential problems. That's why when something happens, your brain often jumps straight to the worst possible interpretation. Someone doesn't reply to your message. Instead of thinking, they're probably busy, your brain might say, they're ignoring me. If a friend seems quiet during a conversation, your brain might think, did I say something wrong? Your brain is constantly scanning for possible social threats because humans are social creatures. Being rejected or excluded historically meant losing protection from the group, so your brain is extremely sensitive to anything that might look like rejection, even when the threat isn't real. Once you understand this, something important becomes clear. Overthinking isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It's simply your brain doing its job a little too enthusiastically. The key isn't trying to completely stop your thoughts. That rarely works. Instead, the real skill is learning to recognize what your brain is doing. When you catch yourself overthinking, pause for a moment and ask a simple question. Is this thought helping me or just repeating itself? Many overthinking loops don't lead to solutions. They just recycle the same worries in slightly different forms. Another helpful realization is this. Your brain believes that thinking longer will produce a perfect answer, but many situations in life don't have perfect answers. Sometimes the best decision is simply the one you choose and move forward with. Action often creates clarity faster than endless thinking because real life provides feedback that your imagination cannot. At the end of the day, your brain isn't trying to sabotage you. It's trying to protect you. It wants certainty. It wants safety. It wants to avoid mistakes. But life doesn't always offer perfect certainty, and sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is simply recognize the pattern. Your brain creates a thought, then another, and suddenly you feel like you're trapped inside them. But the moment you realize what your mind is doing, something interesting happens. You begin to see those thoughts not as facts, but as possibilities your brain is generating. And once you understand that, the thoughts lose some of their power, because overthinking only controls you when you believe every thought your mind creates. But once you understand the psychology behind it, you start realizing something powerful. Your brain may produce thousands of thoughts every day, but you don't have to follow every single one of them.